Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon. You want to waste some time? We're good at that. We're very, very good at that. Gonna be doing some game dev story to do just that. The first thing I'm gonna do is turn the damn music off. There we go. Game dev stories music is not exactly the best thing ever. I don't know, it does remind me very much of old school Tycoon music, but the problem is it's kind of bugging out right now, and it shudders a lot. It's distorted at times, so I'm going to avoid doing that. So we're going to develop some fake video games with some real video game music in the background. Should be amusing. It's a Tycoon game, and it is not showing up on the stream. Alright, let's try that again. That was weird. It worked 2 minutes ago. What the hell's happened there? Just give me a moment, folks. This should be registering. There we go. Just a few clicks got the damn thing to work. Wonderful. That's what we like to see. Okay, Game Dev Tycoon. It's a business sim. You start in your garage, and you attempt to develop games. Simple as that. So let's make some fake video games. It will be called, of course, The Cynical Brit. No, not like that. We should call it The Cynical Bit, actually. Or The Cynical Bite, because that's actually kind of... we'll call it The Cynical Bit. There we go. It's just better. Our player name, of course, will be Total Biscuit. And customization options. Every one of them is hideous. Every one. There's not a bald one, which I'm actually very disappointed about. Clearly, they need the ability to evolve your appearance as things go on. Not a single stylish thing was worn that day. Let's wear the worst looking thing I can find. It's probably about that. I don't know. Some people might like that. Personally, not what I'm into. Okay. Let us begin. We can just save over this. There we go. Yes, I do want to overwrite that. Alright, welcome to Game Dev Story. So the first thing to do is, of course, develop a video game. Costs you $8,000 a month to live in this garage. $8,000! Think about that. What kind of garage is this? This bloody thing better just provide you with maid service. Hell of it. Better be better than maid service. I don't know. It's a very expensive garage. I also found that later on in the game, when you hire developers, they cost like $28,000 a month. I'm like, what? You kidding me? It's absurd. Alright. Not a realistic depiction of game development. Alright, let's make our first game. Our first game. We'll be naming every game today in a thematic style. We will be theming our games after biscuits. That is going to be the way of it. So, you start off with very few topics available to develop. Sports, military, medieval, and space. Okay. Let's go with it. People thought I made a female character. No, I made a character in the 80s, which means that they all have long hair. Doesn't actually look female. That's one fancy garage, isn't it? Alright, what should we go for? We are actually going to allow the channel to vote on the first topic. We're going to vote on the topic, and you're going to also pick the genre. We're not going to do too much of that, because otherwise, if I let you pick everything, we are going to fail before we even get out of the garage. So, let's see. The subscribers are able to vote. Mostly space right now. Space is currently in the lead. Medieval also making a little bit of a comeback here. Some medieval, space, space, space. Okay, I think it's safe to say that you want space. Okay, let's pick our genre. Genre time. Space action, space adventure, space RPG, space sim, or space strategy, ladies and gentlemen. Which will it be? Vote now. Vote now in the chat. Also, I have a feeling that this thing keeps turning its music back on. I might have to just turn the sound off entirely for it. Yeah, it's turned its music back on. Alright. Excuse me for a second. I'm gonna have to mute the game because... Oh. I'll tell you what's going on with this. God. There. The actual... Even trying to turn the music down and everything in the Windows mixer, it's completely covered up with the Game Dev Tycoon logo. It's buggy as hell. They need to fix that immediately. Alright, there we go. Seems to be fixed, and now is not actually appearing on the screen. Come on. Quit being terrible. There we go. Fixed. Alright, so. A lot of space strategy coming on here. A lot of people want space strategy. What I want is a patch for the damn game. Space strategy. Also, we have a legit PR guy from Evolve PR who represents a large number of game developers. This is a guy that represents CD Projekt as well as many others. Evolve PR is in the chat watching me make games. I'm not sure if this is going to affect my relationship with the PR company. Okay, well, it's gonna be space strategy. Come on, we're playing StarCraft music in the background. It's gonna be a space strategy. We're gonna make... Alright, so we're gonna pick a dev platform. The G64, the PC. Currently, the G64 actually has a bigger market share, but costs more to develop for. It's got enough for market share, in my opinion, to actually develop for it. So I'm gonna pick the G64. This is the 80s, ladies and gentlemen. We are gonna develop Biscuit Craft. There we go. It will not be text-based. We're going to make a 2D game. Alright, let us begin our development process for the G64. Alright, now, there are 3 stages of development. Each of them allow you to change various aspects of it. So, not really so concerned about the story. I'm going to nail that down. I want a game that's all about the gameplay. There we go. We're going to focus on the gameplay for this particular title. And then we'll see how it goes. Now, what happens is here, you gain research points as well as points in design and technology. Now, the more point, as far as I can tell, the better you do in design and technology by the time that the game is actually finished, the better it gets, and that is also affected by your skills. At the start, you only have one developer who has 300 skill in everything, and you are not hiring anyone else right now. No one wants to live in your garage, nobody. Okay, dialogues. We're not so concerned about that. I think we should be focusing on the AI, because it's a strategy game. Bad AI would be a bad strategy game, so let's focus on the AI. Not so concerned about the story, although I may be completely wrong. I'm making a game that I would like, which probably means it won't sell very well. Okay, world design, graphics, and sound. Okay, so we could make it graphically impressive, but I'd rather focus on world design. I think if you've got a compelling world, then you can overlook graphics and sound, and, you know, you can still... Obviously, it's still going to be decent, but it's not going to be great, so I'm going to focus entirely on world design. Alright, let's see if Biscuit Craft, the space strategy, will be a success. Currently, there are bugs in the game. We'll have to fix those before we actually release it, unless we want to cash cow it. Time is a fairly relevant factor in this game, so you can actually wait while the game is finished, and you may get more points in design and technology, so you polish the game up. You can release it with bugs, but if you do, it's a very bad idea, because you will get a lot of negative press from that. You'll also gain experience. As you'll notice here, I used a new topic and new combo, and it was also a great combo. Anything that makes sense, like, say, military simulator or dungeon RPG, that gets a great combo bonus, so it makes sense. Alright. Here we go. Let's see if our first debut game, Biscuit Craft, is any good. 8. There we go. Good start right there. That's what we like to see. Yes, see? I told you. Focus on artificial intelligence is a good idea. It's an 8. There we go. Excellent. See? I know what I'm doing. I can develop video games. This guy sucks. He's embargoed. He gets no press copies from here on in. That's actually a dreadful score. And now everyone is going to get fired. No bonuses for anyone here. Well, that was pretty reasonable. Not a bad start for an initial release, I think. That should be alright. Alright. So, let us start to gain some fans for our development house. Cool, we're making some money. In the meantime, I'm going to develop a new game. When you click on the computer, it does actually put... No, don't give me that music! That's completely inappropriate. My game is selling well. Don't even do that. That's foreshadowing. Alright. That's better. Bit of Soul Calibur in there, saying, hey, we are a successful indie developer. Alright, so you can see units are selling here. When you click on your computer, it pauses. This is very important because game time goes through fairly rapidly, and each month you are going to incur expenses, lots of them. It costs this guy $8,000 a month to live in his garage. Why? I have no idea. One has to assume it's the garage of some gigantic castle or something. So in the meantime, you can do things. You can either research, at least initially, or you can develop a new title. Well, I don't really have enough research points to make a custom game engine yet, so I should make a new game while this one is selling. Not bad, 5,000 units in the first week, that's okay. And we now have 31 fans for our game developer. How wonderful. Let's develop a new game. Alright, I'm going to leave this up to the chat again, because you got a good combo last time. So, which topic? Sports, military, medieval, or space, ladies and gentlemen? Vote now in the chat. We're doing well on sales. We're making some money here. That's good. We've almost made back the cost of development. Medieval. We're looking like medieval right now. A lot of medieval. You can't do military sports as much as I wish you could. Yeah, I think we're doing medieval. Alright. You can only pick one theme and one genre. We're not doing medieval military sports. That's silly. That doesn't work. Action, adventure, RPG, simulation, or strategy, ladies and gentlemen. For medieval, let me know. What do you want? Medieval sim? Sim? Really? That's a bit risky. You guys would be dreadful developers. Innovating on your second game? That's an awful idea. This is very mixed. This is very mixed. I'm getting a lot of adventure here. Good amount of RPG as well. Medieval RPG, you think? Bear in mind, medieval is not the same as fantasy. There are a lot of different themes in this game. Fantasy is a separate theme entirely. You thinking a medieval RPG? Medieval sim? It's gonna be close. It's gonna be close. Action and RPG. You know, I might have to ignore you entirely and just build a strategy game or something. I'm good at strategy games, clearly. I can make the new Age of Empires. There's a lot of RPG. I think we're going to have to go with RPG. I think RPG edges out everything. That's a non-scientific poll, but hey. Now, we've been successful on the G64 before, so I'd suggest that we develop again for that. PC is cheaper to develop for. And let's be honest, the G64, we know the history. This thing eventually will go out of business, but it won't go out of business until I've milked it for all the money I can get. The name of the game, ladies and gentlemen, our medieval RPG, will of course be Mount and Biscuit. That is a fact. There we go. We will develop with 2D graphics version 1. We're not going to make a text-based game today. We've got the money. We don't need to develop text-based. Let's go for 2D graphics. Okay, here we go. Let's start some development. In the meantime, you can see the sales figures for Biscuit Craft in the corner there. Very good. Alright. Engine, gameplay, story, and quests. Well, it's an RPG. We've got to focus on story and quests a lot. So I can let some of the gameplay go because, again, we're doing a story-focused game this time around. Maybe we up the engine just a little bit. Want to make sure this thing works. Nothing worse than a bad engine. So there we go. Focus on the story and quests. We can develop our own custom game engine. We'll be doing that soon, but I need the research points and the money to do so. Can't just develop an engine out of nowhere. You've got bills to pay. Use a proprietary engine for the time being. Biscuit Craft has achieved a company sales record of 10,000 units sold. That's not bad. It's going to be off the shelves pretty soon, because obviously this is the 80s. Digital development and distribution is not happening. Maybe that happens later on. That would be kind of cool. Alright. Dialogue's got to focus on dialogue for this. AI, well, you played Oblivion. We don't need that. So, we're going to focus a lot on the dialogue and a lot on the overall story. That also means that we'll probably need pretty decent world design. It's an RPG. We've got to focus a lot on that. A lot of design, not so much on the technology this time around. So, we might end up being a colossal failure because the game doesn't work properly. Alright, we're going to focus on world design. I think we could probably focus a lot on the sound as well. Let's make an atmospheric world. Graphics not so important at this point. Alright, let's see where it goes. A lot of design points. Huge amounts of design points going in here. This actually might be quite successful. Let's fix the bugs, and Biscuit Craft is still on sale, so I'm still making a little bit of money. We can afford to tail this off and maybe get a couple of extra points. There we go. Let's make the game as good as we can. Alright, Biscuit Craft's going to go off sale right now, so now is a good time to release my new game. Alright. A lot of design. The tech's not so good in this one. We'll see. Might be good enough. And we just passed 10,000 viewers. Apparently Game Dev Tycoon is a good way to get stream viewers. Alright. So there we go. This is what we gained. Once again, great combo. Good job to the chat. They managed to give us an experience bonus there. 1.6. Makes sense. Medieval RPG. Of course it's a great combo. Why wouldn't it be? Alright. Release the game. Let's see where it goes. Okay, Mountain Biscuit. You're going to do well for us here. You're going to do well. There's an 8. We like it. Yes, I know there's a DeLorean in the garage. That's very, very deliberate. Yes, there we go. 8s across the board right now from Informed Gamer. See? Focus on world design. Very good. You suck, Game Hero. You're not getting any review copies in future. All games. Yeah. Alright, that's good enough. 2 8s, 2 7s. I'll take that. I'll absolutely take that. That should work pretty well for us. Okay, let's see how well this sells. We're going to build up our fan base. This one's selling way faster than the previous one. Look at that. 8.8 thousand in a month. Absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Alright. In the meantime, now is the time where we can maybe do some research. Let's get a custom game engine going. Oh, I don't have the research points for that. Okay. Won't be doing any research anytime soon then. Alright, so early on in the game, it will offer you contract work. This is the idea that you finish other people's games for them. Gets you a little bit of money. It's a pretty reasonable thing to do if you don't want to go directly into developing a brand new game. You can do contract work, which might be a decent thing to do right now. I'll show you how this functionality works. So basically, you get a time limit to develop this much stuff. And this becomes relevant later on in the game because you get staff. Whoa! Yeah, I'm not 99 designed to fix this. Screw you, you gotta be kidding me. That's definitely not worth it. He was only gonna pay me 13k for that. You gotta watch out. If you fail it, you get a penalty. Seems like the easiest one of these would probably be this one. It pays 13,000, penalty of 5k. So 11 design points and 2 technology points. I can totally do that. This is relevant later on in the game because as you hire staff, they have different specialities. So if you have a studio that's got a lot of technical expertise, you can take on the big tech jobs, but you will struggle with the design jobs. So let's do a little bit of character design. So you can see the timer is ticking down there, but we're still making money in the background. Mountain Biscuit looks to be a great success so far. And as you can see, the Commodore 64 is doing very, very well. It won't later on. Now, the funny thing is that Game Dev Stories stuff is very much based on reality and history. So even though they're using fake stuff, you know that's the Commodore 64, and you also knew what happened to the Commodore 64 and the ascendancy of the PC after that, as well as the various other console platforms. What I would like to actually see is a variation on it. What would be cool is if the game actually varied things up, and in fact the C64 became the dominant platform, and consoles maybe failed out of the gate, and maybe there was a big era of PC dominance and things like that. That'd be pretty cool. Well, Mountain Biscuit is doing very well for us. We have $200,000 right now, and we've been able to do some contract work. Very, very cool. Contracts are also nice if you want to get just a little bit more research done, which is exactly what I'm doing right now. So I'm accepting some contracts to try and get 3 more research points so I can develop my own custom engine. If not, I'll make a new game, and that will allow me to do it. Mountain Biscuit over 20,000 sales sold. Look at that. That's pretty good. Excellent. And no research points from that. Okay, let's make a new game then. So we still have 2 more genres that we haven't, well, we've actually got more like 4 more genres and 2 themes that we haven't used yet. So I don't need to research any new themes yet, I don't think. Alright, so you get to pick sports or military. Sports or military. You've already picked medieval and space, so what are we doing? Are we doing sports sim? Are we going to do a mil sim? What do you want? Or do we want something entirely different? Sports RPG, really? I hate you so much. Military, milsim, a lot of military. Okay. We're looking like military. Pick genre, action, adventure, RPG, simulation, or strategy. Go! Tell me. Are we making a milsim? Are we making a military action game? Are we going to make the 1982 equivalent of Call of Duty? What are we going to do? A military adventure sounds like a fairly bad idea. It's a lot of action. A lot of sim. We don't have... The first-person shooter genre hasn't been invented yet, so we can't make that. We need to do some more research in that regard. We don't even... I mean, we don't even have 3D graphics, so we can't really make a first-person shooter. It's gonna be a lot of action. I can't pioneer it. Not yet, anyway. I believe it is possible to actually do that. I was talking to Northern Lion earlier. He said that he pioneered the virtual pet genre and made, like, millions in his garage. Which is pretty crazy. Alright, military action it will be. On the G64, which currently has that big market share. As I say, it costs a little bit more to develop for, but it's not really a big deal because you make a lot extra money on it, so... Okay, the name of it. Call of Biscuit. Onward we go. We could make it text-based. That would probably not work so well. Alright. So what are we going to focus on here? Well, story and quests isn't that important. It's a military action game, so we're going to focus on the gameplay primarily. We don't really want this big story-driven game so soon. Mountain Biscuit is now off the market. 22,000 sales. Not too bad at all. Not too bad at all. That's my game history right there. Mountain Biscuit and Biscuit Craft. As you can see, Mountain Biscuit did way, way better. Average review score was only slightly larger, though, funnily enough. Top sales rank of 18. Not too bad at all. Alright, Call of Biscuit. Call of Biscuit will be a franchise. We're going to turn it into one. There's going to be 5,000 of these games. Aha. Alright, so, console development is starting. So, the NES will be out fairly soon. Let's focus on level design. Dialogue is so not important. Level design and artificial intelligence. We want fun gameplay, fun levels. Story doesn't matter at all, at least in my opinion. I'm probably going to be proven horribly wrong here. Lots of bugs in this game already, that's not so good. Focus on the graphics. We can down the sound a bit. I do want it to be reasonably well designed, but I want to focus on the graphics. Let's see where it goes. Lots of bugs. Let's fix the bugs before we launch anything. I don't think this one's going to do all that well, you know. Buggy piece of crap, for one thing. He's also introducing new bugs as he gets feature creep. Stop, fix the bugs! Alright, I think that's about as far as we're going to go. Oh, one more point. A little bit more polish. A little bit more polish. There we go. Let's release it towards the end of the month. Alright. Okay, and the NES is on its way out, so we might develop our next game for the NES. New topic, new combo, and a great combo. There we go. Call of Biscuit has been completed, and we've leveled up as well. Engine, gameplay, story, and quests, we've got a lot of levels up. We're not very good at dialogue, so that's not our strength right now. Alright, let's see how well this one does. I've got a feeling this one isn't going to do so well. I've just got this feeling in my bones. Let's see. Call of Biscuit. We evidently didn't pay them enough. Should have marketed this one more. Oh no, we got an 8 there. We got an 8. We got an 8. And another 8. And a 7. Yeah, that's alright. You know, we're getting pretty much the same results every time. We're a consistent developer. That's good. That's what we want. Alright, let's see how well Call of Biscuit sells. This should be enough for us to actually... Now would be the time to research. Let's make a new game engine. Let's develop our own engine, because we're currently waiting for the NES to be released. Once that's been released, we're going to probably develop for that. Sounds like a good idea, because I know that gets pretty popular. Call of Biscuit is doing okay. It's selling about as much as... whatever the hell the other one was. Custom game engine has now been researched. Now we will develop our own game engine. Alright, it of course will be the Biscuit Engine 1.0. It is going to have version 2 2D graphics. It's going to have mono sound. We're going to enable linear story and save game functionality. It's going to cost me $120,000 to develop this engine. So we're going to have a successful game after this. Otherwise, we're going to be in trouble. As you can see, this is going to tick away. It's going to take quite a long time to develop this engine. You can't... Well, it's weird. I wonder if you can sell engines later on, but you definitely can't now. I guess at this stage in the 80s, it doesn't really make much sense. We'll develop our own engine, and then we're going to make something off it. We've got plenty of money to get through this development process, and that means we can make a superior game, something that's truly a blockbuster. Oh, I should have waited for the pad, you're right. Ah! My timing was wrong there. That kind of sucks. Oh well, I'll make some more Commodore 64 games then, and then I'll redevelop it. Now, if you want to add a new feature to the engine, you've got to completely redevelop the engine, which is a bit of a pain in the ass, to say the least. So, that sucks. I did not think ahead there. Alright, well, let's develop a new game based on our new engine. We have one more topic left, folks. Sports. What genre do you want for sports? And then we'll start mixing things up. Action, adventure, RPG, simulation, or strategy. Vote now. Why must you insist on making me create a sports RPG? Oh, God, I hate you so much. Alright, sports RPG. It shall be. Now, we can develop for that system, but one, we've got to buy a license for it, and secondly, our engine doesn't really support gamepads very well. We haven't got that, because I'm an idiot and developed it way too early. So I think we keep making for the G64, and then our next iteration of the engine, when we get some new tech, we redevelop the engine with some new technology and add the gamepad and then develop for the Nintendo. Right now, though, the G64 seems like a good place. Biscuit Engine 1.0 is our engine. Gonna cost us 30,000. Now we can increase it. Let's make something that looks a lot better. 2D graphics version 2.0. It's gonna cost us a lot more money, but we can start to enable some new features here, like linear story and save game functionality. That sounds like a pretty good thing indeed. Alright, it's a sports RPG, so we're better focused on the story. Now, I want this fairly balanced this time around. I do need some engine tech, because at the end of the day, it's a new engine we're using. Need to look at that. If I screw that up, then good lord, I don't know what's going to happen there. We're going to need dialogue. Level design, not so important. It's a sports RPG. It's going to be... In fact, I think we crank that down all the way to 0. Level design, not so important at all, simply because we are making something that is based on a sports field, so that doesn't matter at all. Let's focus on that dialogue. Also, did I name this game 4? Ah, I forgot to name the game. I'm terrible. I'm absolutely terrible. I wonder if I can rename it during development. If you can't, then that's not a good simulation. Now, if I focus on graphics, then I can hopefully do pretty well there, because I have this new graphics engine. Everything looks really, really good. Again, world design not so important, so let's focus on graphics and sound. Let's make it a blockbuster. I don't think it's going to let me rename my game now. That's annoying. Alright, it's going to be called Game 4. The mysterious Game 4 will be developed here. Alright. Okay, we finished off. Yep, let's get a little bit of endgame polish on it. Alright, time to release the game. Let's see how it goes. Game 4. The mysterious Game 4. New combo. Not a good combo. You guys suck. Sports RPG is a dreadful idea. But I've leveled up my dialogue. That's always good to see. So everything's now level 2, aside from my experience in the new 2D graphics engine. Alright. I can now research the joystick. I don't know how useful that is, actually. I assume that would be for Commodore 64. And it's not good. Yeah. Our sports RPG is not doing so well, I'm afraid. It's okay. It's a bit of... I think maybe we rushed it. We focused perhaps too much on graphics apart from good gameplay. Maybe I shouldn't have leveled that down so much. Well, the sports RPG didn't do so well. Let's see if it actually sells. Selling alright. Okay-ish, I guess. Not as good as the other stuff. Alright, well, that was lousy. Okay, let's do some research. I think we need to research the joystick. Game number 4 is apparently a commercial failure. I think it's probably paid itself back, but it certainly didn't